Hey guys, happy Wednesday. A lot of people were texting me yesterday and saying, Miss Misher, I'm sorry, I haven't done my work, or I can't do it right now, but I will, and you're stressed. The grade book is closed. So that's number one. Don't be stressed. There's nothing I can put in right now. But on the other end of this, the reason why I am posting work is because I need to post something that counts as summer work. So I told the leadership team that I was posting the rest of the Outsiders work, and that's your summer work. So if you are not doing it with us in these videos right now, you just are gonna have to look forward to it and watching this stuff right before you go back to school when you normally rush to do your summer work. That wasn't me judging. You do whatever you need to do right now. I obviously am feeling exhausted too. I've been going to graduation the last 2 days, and I'm going over there again this morning to see some kids, so I know about being busy. So anyway, try your best to keep up with the videos and keep up with the work, and then you should have a pretty free summer. And if you're going to summer school, you will see me. I'm going to be teaching, I think 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So if you need some extra help and time on things, you know that you can talk to me. All right. You should have submitted day 15 yesterday, I think. And my dog's just going to run around and be crazy in the background because that's what Stevie does. So yesterday I uploaded day 16. Yep. So you are going to open that. I put the vocab in there again, so if you want to pause the video right now to take some time and study your words, that is cool with me. The words are indignant, notion, testify, survey, apparently, and doggedly. All right. Today we're just going to read pages 122 to 127, and we're going to just finish up the chapter. And then I just gave you 2 questions to answer. So it's a pretty easy day of class notes. I also love that in yesterday's video, all of you just kept looking at Henry sitting right here and commenting about him. And now these 2 are being crazy. Can you stop, kid? She's being crazy. She might come to school with me today. Who is that? Who's in there? Say hi to my kids. They always want to see you in the video, but you're running around like a crazy person. No. Alright, I should get back to the video. She wants to get down and just jump on everybody and be crazy. Alright, ready? Okay. So the next thing you guys are going to do is open up the link to the text. And we are at 122, right? So when we left off yesterday, Derry was gonna start the fight with that guy Paul. And they were like right in the middle of it. 122. The silence grew heavier, and I could hear the harsh sound of breathing of the boys still around me. Still, Derry and the Soch walked slowly in a circle. Even I could feel their hatred. They used to be best buddies. They used to be friends. Now they hate each other because one has to work for a living and the other comes from the west side. You shouldn't hate each other. I don't hate Soches anymore. They shouldn't hate. Amen, brother. They shouldn't hate. Okay. Hold up. Oh, this part's so funny in the movie. A familiar voice yelled, "Hold it." Derry turned to see who it was, and Paul swung a hard right to his jaw that would have felled anyone but Derry. The rumble was on, and Dallas Winston ran to join us. So what starts the fight is that they're about to have a fight, but they hear Dallas like running in, and it distracts Derry. He turns, and Paul is able to get the first hit. So Dallas kind of ruins it for us, but it's funny. Also, this entire fight scene is just like ridiculous. If you watch it or look up like the Outsiders fight scene, it's in like this fake rain on this field, and it just looks ridiculous. So if you can Google it, I don't know if it'll come up, but it's funny. All right. I couldn't find a Soch my size, but I took the next best size one and I jumped on him. Dallas was right beside me, already on top of somebody. I thought that you were in the hospital, I yelled, as the Soch kicked me to the ground, and I rolled over to avoid getting kicked. I was. Dally was having a hard time because his left arm was still in bad shape. I ain't now. How? I managed to ask as the Soch that I was fighting leaped on me, and we rolled near Dally. I talked to the nurse into it with 2-bit switch, so Dallas pulled a knife on the nurse, and that's how I got out of the hospital. Not really a good idea, but... Don't you know a rumble ain't a rumble unless I'm in it? I couldn't answer because the Soch was heavier than I took him for, had me pinned, and he was slugging the sense out of me. I thought dizzily that he was gonna knock some of my teeth loose or break my nose or something, and I knew I didn't have a chance. But Darity was keeping an eye out for me. He caught the guy by the shoulder. He half lifted him up before knocking him 3 feet with a sledgehammer blow. I decided it wouldn't be fair for me to help Dally since it would be fair for me to help Dally since he only had one arm. They were slugging it out, but Dallas was getting the worst of it, so I jumped on the Soch's back, pulling his hair and pounding him. He reached back and caught me by the neck and threw me over his head to the ground. Tim Shepard, who was fighting 2 at once, accidentally stepped on me, knocking my breath out. I was up again as soon as I got my wind and jumped right back on the Soch. Excuse me. It's early. It's like 7 o'clock. I always wonder who makes it this far into the video and it's like, wow, just making sure I'm judging you. You guys see Fitz too. Just hanging out. Back to the story. Alright, so I got the wind knocked out of him. I was up again as soon as I got my wind, and I jumped right back on the Soch, trying my best to strangle him. While he was prying my fingers loose, Dally knocked him backwards, so all 3 of us rolled on the ground, gasping, cussing, and punching. Somebody kicked me hard in the ribs, and I yelped, in spite of myself. Some Soch had knocked out one of our bunch, and he was kicking me as hard as he could. But I had both arms wrapped around the other Soch's neck, and I refused to let go. Dally was slugging him, and I hung on desperately, although the other Soch was kicking me, and you better believe that hurt. Finally, he kicked me in the head so hard, kicked in the head, that it stunned me. I lay limp, trying to clear my mind and keep from blacking out, but I could hear only racket, only dimly through the buzzing in my ears. Numerous bruises along my back and my face were throbbing, but I felt detached from the pain, as if it wasn't really me feeling it. They're running, I heard a voice yell joyfully. Look at the dirty run. It seemed to me that the voice belonged to 2-Bit, but I couldn't be sure. I tried to sit up, and I saw that the Sochs were getting in their cars and leaving. Tim Shepard was swearing blue and green because his nose was broken again. And the leader of the Brumley boys was working over one of his own men because he had broken the rules and used a pipe in fighting. Steve lay doubled up groaning about 10 feet from me. Found out later he had 3 broken ribs. Ooh. Soda Pop was beside him, talking in a low, steady voice. I did a double take when I saw 2-Bit. Blood was streaming down one side of his face, and one was busted wide open. But he was grinning happily because the Sochs were running. We won, Derry announced in a tired voice. He was gonna have a black eye, and there was a cut across his forehead. Beat the Sochs. Dally stood beside me for a minute, trying to grasp the fact that we had really beaten the Sochs. Then, grabbing my shirt, he hauled me to my feet. Come on. He half dragged me down the street. We're gonna go see Johnny. I tried to run, but I stumbled, and Dally impatiently shoved me along. Hurry. He was getting worse when I left. He said he wants to see you. I don't know how Dallas could travel so fast after being knocked around and having his arm hurt some more, but I tried to keep up with him. Track wasn't ever like the running I did that night. I was still dizzy and had only a dim realization of where I was going and why. Dally had Buck Merrill's T-Bird parked in front of our house, and we hopped in. I sat tight as Dally drove the car down the street. We were on 10th when a siren came behind us, and I saw the reflection of the red light flashing in the windshield. Look sick, Dally commanded. I'll say I'm taking you to the hospital, which will be truth enough. I leaned against the cold glass of the window, and I tried to look sick, which wasn't too hard, feeling the way that I did right then. The police looked disgusted. All right, buddy, where's the fire? The kid, Dally jerked a thumb toward me. He fell over on his motorcycle. I'm taking him to the hospital. I groaned, and it wasn't all a fake out, I guess. I looked pretty bad, being cut and bruised like I was. The fuzz changed his tone. Is he real bad? Do you need an escort? How would I know if he's bad or not? I ain't a duck. Yeah, we could use an escort. As the policeman got back in his car, I heard Dally hiss, "Sucker." With the siren ahead of us, we made record time getting to the hospital. All the way there, Dally kept talking and talking about something, but I was too dizzy to make out most of it. I was crazy, you know that kid? Crazy for wanting Johnny to stay out of trouble, for not wanting him to get hard. If he'd been like me, he'd never been in this mess. If he got smart like me, he'd never have run into that church. That's what you get for helping people. Editorials in the paper and lots of trouble. You better wise up, Pony. You get tough like me, and you don't get hurt. You look out for yourself and nothing can touch you. He said a lot more stuff, but I didn't get it all. I had a stupid feeling that Dally was out of his mind, the way he kept raving on and on, because Dallas never talked like that. But I think now that I would have understood if I hadn't been sick at the time. The cops left us to the hospital, and Dally pretended to help me out of the car. The minute the cop was gone, Dally let go of me, and I almost fell. Hurry. We ran through the lobby and crowded past people in the elevator. Several people yelled at us, I think because we were pretty racked up looking, but Dally had nothing on his mind except Johnny, and I was too mixed up to know anything, but I had to follow Dally. When we finally got to Johnny's room, the doctor stopped us. I'm sorry, boys. He's dying. We gotta see him, Dally said, and he flicked Two-Bit's switchblade. His voice was shaking. We're gonna see him, and if you give me any static, you'll end up on your own operating table. So again, second time in this chapter that Dallas has pulled a knife on someone that works in the hospital. That's probably just only trying to help him. The doctor didn't bat an eye. You can see him, but it's because you're his friends, not because of that knife. Dally looked at him for a second, and he put the knife back in his pocket. We both went into Johnny's room, staying in there for a second, getting our breath back in heavy gulps. It was awful quiet, scary quiet, and I looked at Johnny. He was very still, and for a moment I thought in agony, he's dead already, or too late. Dally swallowed, wiping the sweat off his upper lip. Johnny cake, he said in a hoarse voice. Johnny? Johnny stirred weakly and opened his eyes. Hey, he managed softly. We won, Dally panted. We beat the Socs. We stomped them, chased them out of our territory. Johnny didn't even try to grin at him. Useless. Fighting's no good. He was awful white. Dally licked his lips nervously. Still writing editorials about you in the paper for being a hero and all. He was talking too fast and too calmly. Yeah, they're calling you a hero now, heroizing all the greasers. We're real proud of you, buddy. Johnny's eyes glowed. Dally was proud of him. That was all Johnny had ever wanted. Pony boy? I barely heard him. I came closer, and I leaned over to hear what he was going to say. Stay gold, Pony boy. Stay gold. The pillow seemed to sink a little, and Johnny died. You read about people looking peacefully asleep when they're dead, but they don't. Johnny just looked dead. Why am I crying? Oof. Like a candle with the flame gone. I tried to say something, but I couldn't make a sound. Dally swallowed, and he reached over and he pushed Johnny's hair back. He never could keep that hair back. That's what you get for trying to help people, you little punk. That's what you get. Whirling suddenly, he slammed back against the wall. His face contracted in agony, and sweat streamed down his face. Damn it, Johnny, he begged. He slammed his fist on the wall, hammering it to make it obey his will. Damn it, Johnny, please don't die. Don't die. He suddenly bolted through the door and back down the hall. All right, exactly 15 minutes. So all you have to do today is the 2 questions. They were super simple, and I can go over both right now. Number one was, what is the outcome of the Rumble, right? The socials went away, the Greasers win. That's all I really need. And what happens to Dallas and Pony on the way to the hospital? They get pulled over. They pretend that Pony is sick, and they get an escort to the hospital. Thank you for coming to my 15-minute lesson. Hope you're able to submit your notes, and I will see you tomorrow. Love y'all.